DT.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/live now DT, and on youtube.com/wakeupcallDT, as well as on facebook.com/wakeupcallDT. So however you're connected with the show, thank you so much for tuning in this morning. I hope you're having yourselves a tremendous and terrific morning here inside of where sports truly meets life. I thank you for your patience this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora as we got everything set here for you this AM, and I hope you're enjoying the week and making the most of the week and truly not taking any time for granted. So, yesterday we talked about being the victor of your life, the victor, not the victim, and victor of your mind, not the victim of your mind, and, the difference. I mean, think about it, both words, V-I-C-T, they start off with the same 4 letters, and they're 6 letters overall, yet they are totally opposite, and one bears fruit, and one makes the fruit rotten. So make sure that you're waking up today being the victor of your mind and the victor of your life, and not the victim of your mind or the victim of your life. So I do pray and I hope the best for each and every single one of you out there, and hope that everything's going well. Plenty of show coming up for you today inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. Cafe Kubal, located on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 208 North Townsend Street, and 401 South Salina Street. You can also head off to 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, and of course inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital, with all locations in Syracuse and outside of that one location that they have in Manlius, New York. So make sure you head out there today to Cafe Kubal and get your favorites, whether it's iced or it is, just a hot coffee or a chai tea, whatever it may be. They are second to none in what they do and how they do it and how they put everything together. It is fantastic. Their breakfast sandwiches are fantastic. Their desserts are fantastic. And, of course, the upstate sandwich is so very good as well. So make sure you find your way out to Cafe Kubal today and let them know that Wake Up Call sent you. Plenty of show coming up this morning, and on a Wednesday that we separate the show into 2 pieces. The Fantasy Football Power Hour always gets its own video. Reason being is we do so much with fantasy football, and we're so ingrained in the community with that. This is our 10th year of running fantasy football leagues in Central and Upstate New York. Our home for those leagues is the Wildcat Sports Pub on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. And you can get in touch with them by going there 7 days a week for dine-in, and they have indoor and outdoor seating and a volleyball court and everything. And, of course, you can get takeout and delivery by calling 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat. That's 315-487-2222. So head off to the Wildcat today, and we'll be heading into the Fantasy Football Power Hour, proudly presented by the Wildcat, where Mike Sofka of Hall of Fame FantasyFootball.com and of our Winning Fantasy Football group on Facebook, he'll be joining me today to speak on every NFC quarterback situation. So we're getting you ready for your fantasy football draft. The drafts that we have at the Wildcat are happening on August 29th, and I'm ecstatic about that opportunity to share that time with you. So we are going to do exactly that. On August 29th, we'll be drafting together. If you're in the league or want to be in the league and haven't let us know yet, send an email to dtstays@gmail.com. That's dtstays@gmail.com, and let us know that you want in to the August 29th live drafts on site, on location at the Wildcat, so we can get you in those leagues and get you set in on your way. So that coming from Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, those leagues for you in Central and Upstate New York. Of course, we have one down in Florida that's going into year 11, and I'm very excited about that as well. So Mike and I are breaking down, we did the backfields of the AFC, we did the backfields of the NFC, and now we'll be doing the quarterbacks of the NFC after last week doing the quarterbacks of the AFC. Not just giving you the starters, but talking about the situation, the weapons that they have, what value they bring. We're taking the time to go deep into each of these scenarios and situations so that you're not just looking at names on a sheet of paper, but that okay, well, this guy's on this team, and, they just drafted a wide receiver who's a rookie, and this guy's been here for 3 years. He's got 1 year left on his contract, so what does that mean? What are his numbers? And, in the quarterback situation, okay, well, this guy, if he gets hurt, this is what's behind him. This is a team that's had 4 quarterbacks in 4 years. So we try to give you all the information that we possibly can to not just rank the quarterbacks or rank the running backs or rank the receivers, but to break down and let you know who's behind these guys. How many running backs are in Atlanta? What does the situation look like in Jacksonville? It's not good enough for us to just tell you a name or two, and the names that you know, we have to tell you the names you don't know. So we'll be going around the league with the NFC quarterback situation, telling you exactly what we think about all the teams of the NFC North, South, East, and West today on Wake Up Call in hour number 2, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And before that, John Desko. I was at a press conference yesterday that I honestly didn't think I would be at. So, in any way, shape, or form. Because I never saw John Desko retiring anytime soon. Definitely not now. And it kind of floored me that, this would be an occurrence. And so here we are. John Desko's retirement from Syracuse. We're going to spend the first hour talking about it. We're going to go to his opening address and watch it and listen to it. And we'll go to my Q&A with him, which I didn't get all of it on video because we had to stand up and talk, and then I had to film it as well. So I got most of it, and so you'll be able to see that. But it's so strange for me to kind of wrap my head around this. And it just felt off, and it feels weird. I feel like this is a vibrant person. I feel like he'll coach again. And that's not something he told me. That's just my sentiments. I don't see him done anytime soon. So it's just a really weird scenario. Thank you to Ross that said, have a great show. I love you, buddy. But, I want to go to his history, and I want to celebrate his history. I don't... I know I'm not the only one that woke up this morning feeling off about this. And I do. I feel off about it. I feel very off about him retiring. Because John, he is Syracuse men's lacrosse. And I respect Gary Gate. And I'm excited for Gary. And at the same time, I'm floored by this retirement. He's a player. He's an assistant. He's a head coach with Syracuse. He's given so much to the program. And it's hard to see, it's kind of like everybody was focusing on, Jim Boeheim. When's Jim leaving? Jim. Everybody shifted their focus to Boeheim. And here is John Desko walking away from, I don't want to say walking away, because I don't know, my gut tells me that that's not. It just doesn't set right, and it just doesn't feel right. I really look at people in their reactions and what they do, and in any situation I watch, and he just didn't have the body language or the facial expression as somebody that was okay with doing, just happy with, okay, this is the next chapter. So he didn't rule out that coaching somewhere else is out of the realm of possibility, and I think he should. He's 63 years old. He's not an old man. A few years younger than my dad. And he took over in 1999, had a record at Syracuse of 265 wins and 92 losses. In total, he was part of 529 wins. Only the fourth coach in the history of Syracuse men's lacrosse. Crazy. He has been a part of all 11 of the team's NCAA championships, 5 of them as a head coach. He was a 2-time National Coach of the Year, and ACC Coach of the Year 5 times. He came to Syracuse in 1975 and became an assistant to Roy Simmons Jr. after his playing career. So came to Syracuse in 75. Boeheim came in 76? And so he came to Syracuse in 75, played on the Syracuse men's lacrosse team, then immediately became an assistant to Roy Simmons Jr. He was with Roy Simmons Jr. as an assistant for 19 seasons. And he was put in the National Lacrosse Hall of Fame in 2020. I don't know what took him so long. But he was put in the National Lacrosse Hall of Fame last year, which, one of the good things that happened in 2020. But here we are. Now, Chase Scanlon was suspended, and what was described as a quote-unquote domestic incident. And the suspension was instituted for, quote, violating team rules and expectations. And Desko reinstated Scanlon a week after the suspension. But the team wasn't the same from there when Scanlon worked out alone at practice with a member of the coaching staff after the 5 captains threatened to walk out. So, the Scanlon issue obviously is in the background of all of this. A season where things didn't go as hoped is in the background of all of this. And at the same time, John Desko has spent 46 years connected to Syracuse lacrosse. 46 years. 529 overall victories, 11 national championships. All the things I said. 2-time National Coach of the Year, 5-time ACC Coach of the Year, National Lacrosse Hall of Famer. And it just doesn't feel right, does it? It just doesn't feel right. Now, I'd love to welcome people's thoughts and to see what's on their minds. But there just felt like there was an underlying to this yesterday. And I can't shake that right now. And with that being said, I'd love to play for you the opening address from the press conference I was at yesterday following the retirement of John Desko from Syracuse men's lacrosse. And this being what John had to say in his full opening address after being introduced by John Wildhack, the athletics director of Syracuse University. John Desko got up to the podium and had the opportunity to speak his mind, and this is what he had to say.
Out to me, and literally thousands, and that was very emotional. To be part of so many people's lives, it started to kick in, when I started hearing from everybody. was talking with Jimmy Boeheim the other day, and we were talking about Syracuse, and two of us have been here a long time. He reminded me, and he said, it's one thing, looking at what's going on right now, and wait till you make a decision. You won't believe how many people you're going to hear from. That's when they come out to work with. So I promise that I will get back to everybody that has contacted me, and that is so much appreciated. Again, to be part of so many lives is an incredible feeling. As John mentioned, family is very important. So for pretty much all my coaching career, my wife Cindy has been there. And if you think about, I see a lot of coaches here, and our jobs, guys and girls. During our season, it's 7 days a week, and many times in the evenings too. Whether it be film or talking to recruits. And my wife's been there the whole time. Raised 4 children, gone weekends in the summertime, and again 7 days a week during the season. So one of the things that I'm starting to get a feel for is a better appreciation for her and what she's done for me and our family. So Cindy, thank you. It's hard for me not to shed a tear here. I'm looking at the staff. It's great to get to know Pat March. He's an amazing young coach with a lot of contacts out there, and he's done a great job recruiting here, along with coaching the offense. Leland's here. Darn you, Leland, you gave me a big hug and you started to cry, and he brought some tears out for me too. Thanks for all you've done. I think we've not only coaching staff mates, but he's become a good friend, and I'm going to be here to support him any way that I can. There have been a lot of other coaches that have been around. I want to say a special thanks. I don't think he's here today, but Kevin Donahue, who is an old teammate of mine in high school and college, and we captained the team our junior and senior years together. Later on, I asked him to be part of the staff. He did. He's probably one of the best coaches I've ever been around. As far as can coach anything going from youth to college. So Kevin, thanks for all your help. I'm hoping you're enjoying your retirement right now too. Roy 3, get over here quick. Come on, get up. I know you're going to make me shed a tear or two. Get over here. This guy, obviously part of the Simmons family, and a teammate, a friend, great friends with his father, my coach, Roy Simmons Jr. Had the pleasure, the absolute pleasure of spending some time with the Roy Simmons Sr. You passed the two of them on your way in out there. They're being honored in front of Ensley as they should be, and just an amazing family that has, talk about impacting lives. I don't know anyone who has impacted more lives than those guys. And there isn't anybody that loves Syracuse lacrosse more than that guy. And Syracuse University. I can tell you more about Syracuse University than anyone I know. Heard from the Chancellor. He's absolutely fantastic. Once again, he's always been there and recognized things and contacted me. He was absolutely wonderful, and I know he'll be there going forward, and I feel very comfortable talking to him. And if he doesn't pick up the phone, then I'm going to turn around and go right to Ruth, because I know I'll get some results that way. Who am I missing here? I know I'm missing Teresa in the office has been a huge help, and again, so many other coaches that have been part of this, and the support I've gotten from the coaches in the back here and other support staff has been absolutely great. Thank you very much. That's probably about it. I'd be happy to take some questions, but first I want to take this opportunity to advertise Troy. Thanks, Troy, for everything. Pete, Mike Nissen, Larry Kelly, and so many others, the others. But I want to take this time to advertise. I'm going to be having a yard sale at home, and especially for those who like SU apparel, mostly extra large and some double X stuff's going in there. A lot of throwback stuff, new and used. So I'll announce a date later, but love to have you here. I'm so scared to go in my office and try to clean up my office and bring things home because I've already got 46 years of stuff at home, and it seems like there's even just as much at home as there is in the office. So I'll keep you updated on the dates on that.
Some jokes coming from John Desko during the press conference, and good to see it. Roy Simmons III, I mean, his reaction was telling, and just seeing there was just a level of sadness and just disbelief maybe that I felt from it. Like I said, John has been so many things to Syracuse men's lacrosse and to Syracuse athletics, and it's so strange because Mike Masser at West Jenny came in when Boeheim came in as a coach. He came in as a coach at West Jenny, and I got to do a show with him at the Wildcat Sports Pub and got to do his retirement party, and that was surreal, knowing that he's been around for so long. And now John Desko, ironically, 46 years, and here he is. So, and then so it's bittersweet, and it's tough, and it's difficult, and it's heartbreaking. Seeing Roy Simmons III's reaction was so sad. I don't know how you don't get emotional by just seeing genuine love and just a friend hurting for a friend, and so it's hard. It's hard to wake up this morning and find this decision really making sense, because John should be able to leave on his own, and Jim's earned that right, John's earned that right, Ben Schwartzwalder had earned that right. I think Paul Pasqualoni had earned that right, even though they forced him out of Syracuse, which turned out to be one of the worst decisions they could have made, because since then it's just been consistent problems. And what I mean by problems, I don't want to say consistent problems. It's just been, Greg Robinson didn't pan out. Doug Marone was doing okay and he left. Scott Schaefer, they gave no time to. They gave him 3 years and even give him a moment to breathe. And, and then Dino Babers, they're paying him more money after a 1-10 season. He's had all losing seasons except for one. 4-8, 4-8, 5-7, 1-10. If that was Paul Pasqualoni, it's just weird. You fire Paul Pasqualoni after back-to-back 6-6 seasons, which are bowl eligibility, and then you give 2 raises to a coach who's 24-36. And that's not me saying anything. I'm not looking to say. I'm just stating the numbers. It doesn't make sense. I'm saying Syracuse sometimes makes decisions that don't make sense. And Desko, I mean, it just seems like between Roy Simmons Sr. and Roy Simmons Jr. and John Desko, that you could coach forever and coach until you don't want to coach anymore and find your own successor. So it just feels off. And I don't think John is done. I hope John's not done. Not in like a negative way to Syracuse. I hope John's not done. I want him to keep coaching. Because he's 63 years old. And he looks young, and I feel like he loves the game. So I don't see an end in sight for him. And I hope there's not. Because when he was talking about fishing and all this stuff, I mean, his kids are, they're grown children. You know what I mean? It's not like, I want to be home with the kids. They're 7 and 9 or, whatever. And I don't know. It just seems like at this point in his life, it doesn't make sense. So we're going to hear his answer to my question after this fast break here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and continue the conversation on John Desko. Strange day for me to be there yesterday and experience this. Not something that it just doesn't sit right. And I don't know, John Desko is Syracuse lacrosse, right? We'll take a step aside for a fast break inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. When we come back, like I said, you'll hear John's answer to my question to him in the press conference. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand butter chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop. and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, as well as on Facebook Live on facebook.com/livenowdt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. So however you're connecting with the show, I thank you so much for being a part of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. So, with that being said, we're speaking in hour number one inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin' about John Desko following the retirement press conference that I was at yesterday, and I had the opportunity to ask John a question about who has impacted him the most and what he thinks his impact has been on Syracuse lacrosse, and this is what he had to say. And I appreciate the opportunity to be able to share this with you. There was more said, and due to how we had to kind of go about the press conference, the majority of it is here, but there's a beginning part to this as well where he kind of talks a little bit about some history. So just so you know, coming into this, that there's a little bit more for the Q&A, and this is the majority of the conversation that John Desko and I got to have when I asked him the question about his impact and who has impacted him the most. So this is what John had to say about that.
Doing great back in those days. And, that was, true. The team wasn't doing great back in those days. And a handful, like Central New York lacrosse is good today, but I think tremendous then. And a handful of us decided to come to Syracuse. Then another handful decided to come, and again, like Roy 3, I think we formed a pretty tight bond. And then after finished our eligibility, Roy Jr. asked me to stay on, and it was great. And 4 years later, we won a national championship. And then we've been able to kind of keep going from there. So I've gotten to see Syracuse lacrosse, kind of down here and have it reach the pinnacle. So I have a real appreciation for that. So it's all just been growing, and again, not right now with time to think about it, hearing from everybody. It's really starting to set in. I'm sorry, I probably missed your question there a little bit.
Just what you can say about who impacted you the most and how you feel you've impacted overall.
Yeah, I think that my parents, first of all, John and Eileen, they did. They have. Syracuse. I came to Syracuse, and it was my parents paid the freight here, obviously, and it was great for them to give me that opportunity. And there were other choices that maybe wouldn't have been financially as tough on the family, so I've always appreciated that. And Roy Simmons Jr. Had a huge impact. I mean, he was my coach, and then we coached together for 19 years. I'm still thinking about, talk to Roy, and I think about him now. He's had a procedure done, and he's getting better, so I look forward to getting together with him when he's out and about, and looking forward to sitting in the Carrier Dome. Hopefully he'll let me in his box so I can watch from up above. So I think those people and there have been other coaches, other athletic directors that I've had communication with, and they've all had a little impact on my life. But I think my parents and to be here, I coached my son for 4 years. I mean, how many people have that experience at the especially at the Division I level? So that was tremendous for me to be part of his life. And a lot of guys will go off to college, or their sons or daughters will go off to college. You don't have as much communication, so to see him on a daily basis was special. So I think those people, my parents, Roy Jr. were huge, and are a huge part of that. The team wasn't doing great back in those days.
That coming from John Desko once again, giving his thoughts and talking about who inspired him, and going to his parents in the conversation, and going to the opportunity that he had to coach his son. And he said, how many people get to do that? And I immediately kind of chuckled to myself and thought, well, not a lot of people get to do that at the D1 level, but at this school, you and Jim Boeheim have gotten to do it. So I just thought it was kind of funny that he said, how many people get to do this? And I was like, well, Jim gets to do it with Buddy and now Buddy and Jimmy. And John obviously got to do it with his son. So it is a pretty cool thing, and Syracuse is a rarity for that. Syracuse also a rarity for having staffs that are comprised of just alumni. We look at what Boeheim's done with Jerry and Adrian and Mike when Mike was here, and now Alan. So Syracuse has some uniqueness to it for sure. And I should know. I grew up here and have spent the majority of my life here. So I know that. And, so I mean, it's bittersweet. It's strange. It doesn't sit right with me. Seeing Roy Simmons, the way that he was crying, and it just doesn't seem right. It doesn't. And I am saddened by all this. I really am. I had the opportunity to meet and talk with John Desko a while ago, and it's hard. But John said that Gary Gate has asked him to stick around and to be around the team. Obviously not a coach, but to be there. And so that's something to look at. This retirement just doesn't seem normal by any stretch of the imagination. So that's the hard part. And we're here this morning, and this is where we're at. But it can't help to me but feel just not like a normal retirement. So I hope that John continues to coach. I hope he continues to bear fruit. I hope he continues to have success. I am very proud to know that he's been connected to Syracuse for so long. I am honored to see that. So it means a lot. He's represented my city in such a beautiful way. And I'm thankful. I'm so thankful for that. By what he's done and how he's done it. How he has just led this team. It's been a beautiful thing. And so I have tremendous respect for, his leadership. And he's second all time as a head coach in wins behind only Bill Tierney at Denver. Second all time in winning percentage. And actually, he's very close there because he has more wins than what this sheet is showing me right now. So, it's so bittersweet, and it's so strange. But I'm waking up this morning and John Desko isn't the head coach of Syracuse men's lacrosse anymore. And it's where do you put that? Where do you put that? And how do we move forward without him? Gary Gate is a great bridge because of his history. But the question is, where do you go from here, and how do you move forward from here? And Jim Berkman, the amount of wins he's had, Bill Tierney that I mentioned. We're talking about winning percentage, 75% winning percentage, but that was before Desko had won some more of his games. He ends his career with a 75% winning percentage, which puts him in the top 10. 75% winning percentage. And over 250 wins. Under 100 losses. Multiple, again, 11 championships. 11. Every single championship that Syracuse has ever won, he's been connected to in some way, shape, or form in his playing, assistant coaching, and head coaching time at Syracuse. He has been a part of every single one of the 11 championships that Syracuse men's lacrosse had. 11 championships. 11. He has been a part of them. So it's a weird morning to sit here and be talking about a coach who's not coaching at Syracuse at 63 years old when he has all of these accolades. And
I think tremendous then.
It seemed like he was only going to do more.
Decide to come to Syracuse.
It seemed like it was only going to get better. It seemed like it would only evolve. Right? Yeah, I mean, every school goes through trying times, and he's had some trying moments. But who hasn't? You know, you coach for as long as he's coached, you're going to have some tough moments. You know, Jim Boeheim had some tough moments. Mike Krzyzewski's had some tough moments. Roy Williams has had some tough moments. It's happened. You know, it happens. That's just how it is. Even the best coaches have tough moments. Can't win every game. And that's just reality. So, you know, missing John Desko is, I think, going to be an understatement. And Gary Gate is going to help people to not think about it as much. He had the second best winning percentage of any active Division I coach. And it ended at 74.1. I said 75. That wasn't including some of the... It was 266 wins and 93 losses. So with the addition of those this season, 74.1% winning percentage. Second highest in NCAA Division I for active coaches. The guys that he has recruited have been insanely good. I mean, Syracuse has been a powerhouse. Syracuse has been lacrosse. You know, upstate New York, known for lacrosse. And Syracuse has been a piece of that. And such a massive part of the success of the sport. I mean, you look at Syracuse. No, I was right here. They added wins. Okay. It was 258 and 86. Second in program history in wins, Final Fours and national championships, and yes, okay, so 258 and 86. So I was right the first time. But yeah, I mean, where do you go from here? You know, so and it's the what have you done for me lately's, right? People say what? Well, you know, he wasn't doing great now. The team didn't look great now. The team wasn't as successful now. You got 11 championships connected to this man. And I believe he should be able to leave on his own. And it didn't feel like the case this time around. And it's really unfortunate because of everything he's done for Syracuse. So I'm sad to hear it. It was Strange to be there. Like I said, 63 years old. I anticipate that he's going to, coach forever at Syracuse. But you think any team would turn down him if he was interested? Think anybody would go, I don't know. I don't think so. So I think it's not should he coach or can he coach. I think it's just where would he want to go? Because I don't see anybody turning down an opportunity to have him coach their team. So it's just my feeling, just my thoughts. 265 and 92. Okay, so there's because the 7 and okay, all right. So yeah, there was three different overall records, and I'm sitting here in the studio going back and forth with it because one says 266, one says 262, one says 258. Okay, good. 7 and 6 season added into all of this, and we get the record, and there we go. Okay, so I have to fact check for you because I don't want to ever lead you in the wrong direction, folks. And that's never what Wake Up Call is about. It's about transparency, and it's about giving you the right information the first time. So either way you slice it, this man won 70+% of his games. And he has been so successful in his entire career. So it does. It's a sad day. It's a strange day. I feel like it's a day that should have come, 5 years from now, but not now. But, Gary, I respect and I appreciate Gary. And so I'm looking forward to see what Gary can do. 265 and 92 is the record. Respect and appreciation goes out to him. I hope it all works for him in his future. I hope that, he's talking about going and fishing and all, and I'm like, man, I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it at all. So, John, I hope the best for you. I pray the best for you. I hope that we get to talk soon. Thank you for taking my question. Thank you for being open about your family. Thank you for doing this press conference. And thank you for 46 years. You've been a part of this program longer than I've been alive. So, thank you, John Desko. I appreciate it. To your over 200 wins and less than 100 losses, 11 championships, Coach of the Year honors, your Hall of Fame induction, you should be able to leave on your own terms, and you should be able to tell people when you're done coaching lacrosse, and I don't think you are. So with that being said, we'll take a step aside and get ready for hour number 2 right after this.
Cafe Cabal Mobile Cafe brings the cafe experience to you. We'll roll out to your neighborhood or office, ready to serve our locally crafted espresso bar to our loyal patrons. Inquire at cafecabal.com. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, located on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, is home to over 40 flavors with more than 200 flavors in their total wheelhouse. Sky's the limit for this sweet and savory Central New York company. Keep it local at your parties, fundraisers, wedding showers, baby showers, and more by calling 315-450-MA-PA. That's 315-450-6272 for popcorn bars with custom flavors and colors at your upcoming event. Make sure to visit them on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. And for more information, go to maandpazsnacks.com. DanTortora.com. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you? The Millhouse Market, located on 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York, is worth the drive absolutely every single time. Head out there and download their app on the Google Play and Apple App Store. When you have that downloaded and ready and set to go, you have everything at your fingertips. You can literally take where you are and Google Maps yourself to, or whatever map thing that they use, but you'll be able to get directions to the Millhouse Market from the app. You'll have the entire menu there at your fingertips, the ingredients, like what's in, what you're getting. So basically, they try to answer all your questions on the app. But if you have more questions, you can obviously get in touch with them and speak with them about catering an event and helping you out in some way, shape, or form. They do so many different things at the Millhouse Market, and you could call them at 315-298-4104. That's 315-298-4104, and of course you have that downloadable app on the Google Play or Apple App Store, and they are open Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Sunday 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And once you go there, you can grab all your food and go at the drive-through pickup window, or you can go inside and dine inside, and you can also go to their general store with local products from local companies. So many great things happening at the Millhouse Market. Absolutely, positively worth the drive every time, and I could promise you the toughest decision that you will ever have to make with Millhouse Market is trying to narrow down what you're going to order today. And it's one of those places where whatever I get, I want to get a second thing to put in the refrigerator for tomorrow. That's how I feel about it, and they are definitely worth it. So make sure you head out to the Millhouse Market today and show them why we support Central and Upstate New York so very much. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, we're going to end this video and start a new one. You know, every Wednesday we split the show up into 2 videos. We do that so that we can truly have fantasy football in and of itself, by itself, because Mike Sofka of Hall of Fame FantasyFootball.com and our joint venture of Winning Fantasy Football, the group on Facebook, we do so much work with fantasy that we don't want you to have to sift through everything to get to it. So we try to be very direct in what we do in each show. You know, what we're covering, how we're covering it. Is this a ranking show? Is this a rookie show? Is this a sleeper show? You know, in the case of today, you know, this is a show about the NFC and going through 16 teams and breaking down who their guys are at quarterback and really looking at everything. So to me, this is a beautiful thing that we get to do, and I'm always so moved by the fact that, you know, Mike put so much work into this, and I'm proud to join him in doing that as well. And so we make these videos very easily accessible. So when you need us on draft day or before draft day or after draft day or whenever it may be, you can always go back and hear our voices and see, you know, what really we broke down in the show to talk about and discuss and help you on your way. You know, Mike and I are here for you every day, because when this show goes live, it goes to the archives, and you can pick it up in different places. You could go to MixLR, you can go to Podbean. We'll be putting all of these up for the running back and the quarterback conversations we've had. Tune in, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, and Podbean. And all you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You can also go to the website, wakeupcalldt.com, and click on the Fantasy Football tab. Underneath it, it says Fantasy Shows. You'll be able to get all the information there as well. So make sure that you do that for us. And as always, we look forward to talking with you about fantasy football. So with that being said, if you're on YouTube and you're on Facebook, hang tight. We'll be back in just